Let's talk about the two different string representations that all Python objects have. I have a datetime.date object here that represents the Python 2 end-of-life date. If I type EOL from a Python shell, I'm going to see something that looks kind of like the code that I typed in to originally get this object. If I print out this EOL object here, I instead see something that looks more like a human-readable date. Print actually called a built-in function in order to get this representation. It used the built-in stir function. Likewise, the Python REPL actually used a built-in function to get this string representation. It used the built-in repr function. This is called the human-readable string representation. This is called the programmer-readable string representation. The human-readable string representation is the thing that an end user of our program might want to see, which is the reason that it's what we get when we print something out. The programmer-readable string representation is what a programmer, another Python programmer, might want to see, which is the reason that we see it when we're playing around with objects at the Python REPL. If I look at help on the built-in repr function, I will see that many objects, including most of the built-ins, use a particular convention for the programmer-readable string representation. This convention says that the string that you get back should actually be Python code, that if you were to execute it, you would get back an object that would be equal to the object you started with. So what that really means is this here should represent something that if we were to execute that code, it would give us back basically the same date object. Now, I should note that most Python objects actually only have one string representation. The one string representation they have is the programmer-readable one. So if we take a list or a dictionary or an integer or a floating point number or most objects in Python, and we convert them to a string, we see something that looks like Python code. If we call the built-in repr function on them, we see the same thing. Most objects in Python do not have a human-readable string representation. They're meant to be used by other Python programmers. They're not necessarily meant to be printed out. So in Python, we have two different string representations. Stir is the human-readable string representation, if that exists. If it doesn't exist, the built-in stir function will call the built-in repr function, which gives you the programmer-readable string representation, which is meant for other Python programmers. If you're converting something to a string, the stir function is a pretty great way to do it. If you specifically want a string representation of an object that's meant for another Python programmer, you might want to use the built-in repr function.